Yay! The sun came out during the middle of that video, and so I've gone downstairs to sunbathe, and I can show you my new top. I lost my strap top, the blue, navy blue that had spots on it. I take it down to the gym, and I took it into the spa room, and it was the same colour as the blanket. So I've got a feeling that they maybe took it to the washing machine with the blankets because it was the same colour, and somehow it ended up getting washed, and I don't know what happened to it. But if it got stolen because it was the same, because it was nice, I don't know. I like that strap top, but I've bought a new one. So I bought this one to try and make up for that one, and then I also found a grey one that has like little leaf branches all over it, which is kind of cute, and I've got a black one and a light blue one, but yes, anyway, so yeah, I just want to talk about something else that I was thinking about when I was going through, so I want to make a page about a person's higher self versus a person's next self. They're two different things. You know, a lot of people might have a next life as a human. I'm hoping that a lot of people have a next life as a human, and so this is your next self. And if you feel guided by your next self or by the person that you might become, you know, that might be fine, but really ultimately you want to be guided by a higher self. But I feel like person's higher self only is who or what the person's higher self is the soul that's going to be left to come out of Earth's timeline. But I can't guarantee that every soul is going to have a higher self. So if you are believing that you are talking to a higher self when really you are only talking to your spirit, a spirit that knows that you are not going to make it out of the timeline, then your spirit will lie to you and get you to believe in lies. Because I think ultimately you don't want kids. You don't want your kids to die. Now, if you are God and you've got 8 billion kids on Earth, and you know that the soul, or you only have an ability to help turn a fraction of them into God, you know, you need to have a big healthy society. You know, you need to have a big healthy society to help these kids of yours. But ultimately, you know the timeline. You know who's going to make it and who's not, and you want the best. You want to form the best, and for you to form the best, you need to have the best, and you need to kind of forget about the rest. And that's just how it is, you know. If a pig in the wild has too many kids and knows that it can't look after or raise this many, you have to forget about the bottom ones before you start getting attached to them, only to find that they don't make it. And if you're a God and you know the timeline, you know that a lot of them aren't going to make it, and therefore you don't want to be sad over it. And you know, right now, if everyone died, I don't think I'd care. Like, I haven't experienced enough good things for me to care. Now I'm hoping Lily's life will be a lot better than mine, and I'm hoping that there'll be people that she does genuinely like, and I'm hoping that because she genuinely likes them, when they go off into whatever's next, I don't know what it is, if they go into another realm, another dimension, altogether, to learn how to become gods, then you know, those are the people you want to be. But at the same time, you might not be them. So by having people tell you that you are a god, and you were a god, and everything that's happened in your life is all been things that you have created. You know, you're building up people's ego, but you're also getting them to think that they're more than they actually are, and that's not a good thing, because that's going to cause them to be stupid and believe lies and not see the truth. And I think it's good to humble yourself in a way that you see the truth. You know, if you are seeing lots of evidence that you are Christ, then okay, saying you're Christ is not humbling yourself, but at the same time, if you see the evidence to back it up, then you have to be honest about what you see. And if you see evidence that you have a higher self and that you are going to be one of the ones that make it, you know, it might not be that you're extremely wealthy. It could just be that you are hearing what I'm saying and you completely understand it, because a lot of people don't seem to understand what I'm saying. And if you can understand, I feel like that might be a sign that maybe you are one of the ones that make it, and hence why you're able to understand, because you know that maybe after you've made it, your higher self is going to try and have to do what I've done on other planets and explain to other people in the same way what I'm explaining to you. And if you have a higher self, you know, your higher self might be, you know, prepared for that, and you might have a stronger connection to your higher self. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't have a higher self, and therefore they would convince themselves, that their spirit is their higher self, or perhaps their next life is their higher self, when really it's not. But yeah, I have an idea though of something that I would like. Where should I go? I don't know. I'm assuming you're going to come and help me at some point. I don't know why it's been this long. 12 years is so long, and I feel so old now, and I feel like all the life that I wanted to live, it's just gone. It's too old. I'm too old for that. You need to start your career when you're 20, not when you're 39 or whatever. And I'm going to take years to get over what I've gone through. So I feel like my life is just over, and I'm never going to get that back. But I want to be in a location that is in America, yeah, but I don't want the world to see it as being America, because if they saw it as being America and they hate America, they might start linking what's happening to me to America. And I think it would be, like the Vatican has their own country within Rome. I think I should copy that, and have my own country in America, and the point of that would be that countries have their own laws. And I have been looking at the American laws, things like guns and stuff, or what's the laws of pensions, or the laws of, I don't know what laws are. There's loads of them, and I was thinking some of them would be of benefit to me, and some of them won't be of benefit to me. And by banning people from having abortions if they've got raped or things like this, that's just terrible. But at the same time, I would love to know how people would think, like what rules do they think are fine and what rules don't. So it would be an interesting experiment. Big Brother is a social experiment, and I loved the idea of the show and still do. But it would be interesting if you were to create some sort of show where it's like, this is the new Israel. We are creating the new Israel, which is an unknown place in a hidden location. If you want to say America, I guess I don't know what you could say. But if you call it its own land, and then ask the public to vote on what laws are right and what's wrong. What laws do they want it to be in this land, and I have to kind of abide by these laws. Okay, if they're all sick, then you don't have to follow them, and they don't have to be real, and you can sort of elect a king over this land, which I'm guessing would turn into Elon. But I like this idea, not because I want to abide by these sick rules or whatever, but I'd just like to know what people think, and for there to be some sort of online site where you can go have an account. You might have to prove your identity, scan in your passport or scan in anything to prove that this is you. And then once you've done that, with crypto coins, they made me do that once. Had to scan in my passport to prove who I was. I think in case you start, doing things. But yeah, I like the idea of having some sort of Israel country where the population have to make the rules, and just so you can know what rules people would have, and my higher self would be able to see who's voted for what, to try and determine who would make a good leader and who won't make a good leader. If she wants to reincarnate certain souls to become leaders, I think it would be nice to know that there was somewhere I could go where I could look to see what people actually think about certain things, so I could try and work out which leaders would be good. But yeah, I don't know. That's just an idea that I was thinking about doing, creating a land for me, for like the show, the idea of the show purpose that I wanted.